Welcome to the OK Taco Show, everybody. My name is Conrad, and how are you, buddy? Today is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, the year of our Lord, and I'm glad to be with you today on this Wednesday. I'm facing a different direction, but I am sitting in a 1977 Airstream trailer, Excella 500, for all you Airstream nerds out there, and it's been converted into a arcade with the free arcade 1-up machines, and I'm sitting in here, and it's poked outside of a building, a 1933 Texaco gas station that sits on historic Route 66 in Davenport, Oklahoma. So if you want to close your eyes, or you don't have any eyes, or whatever, and you need to visualize where you're hearing my voice, that's it. That's where I'm at, and this is me. I am Conrad, and this is my voice. So thank you for being here. So November 1st, which means lots of things. Number one is don't be irritated at me when the door gets kicked open and I have to that can happen at any time for really a number of different reasons. Oftentimes I do kind of wonder when the door will just get kicked open for some past misunderstanding that comes to fruition. But today I know it'll get kicked open because my wife will need my signature on a check. So I've been writing lots of checks. Pretty awesome feeling to do. And, religion and churches and the Bible says, it's good to give. And so every time, you know what I mean? When I'm writing a check for a place or a thing, government, whatever, I just, God bless you, and I write that on there because it makes me feel good to give. And so I got to write that check. That's the first. The first of the month is always tough. It's always nice to just say that about every part of the month. Middle of the month is always, once you get through the middle, it's all downhill from there. Into the month, pretty rough. And the first of the month, pretty rough. So that's where we're at. How was your Halloween? That's what we got to talk about. Obviously, Halloween is a huge, huge deal for me and my family. Some people don't celebrate it because it's kind of like a celebration of ghouls and goblins and spookiness. I understand that. Some people think it's like All Hallows Eve, and there's some sort of like burning witches at the stake, Slender Man kind of business going on with Halloween. Possibly. But at least for our universe, for the OK Taco universe, obviously Halloween has got a very important character, and his name is Damian Page. Damian Page is a gentleman that I met once we started building this place. You guys have met him. He's been all over our social media. And one of his passions in life, he's got a lot of passions. Bike riding, bicycling is a passion of Damian's. He's got just a lot of vintage old bicycles. And then his other passion is dressing up like characters from kids animation. And so over the past year, he has purchased, I didn't have to purchase these. He has purchased costumes that range from pirates to Cinderellas and princesses to seals, like the animal and the singer. He has done all kinds. He is really, we got everything. Dogs, cats, space dogs. And he's got those big old heads that you see, those bobblehead style costumes, mascot costumes. He gets the good ones. So I was curious what he would show up as. Because the plan was this, my children are also of the age where Halloween can still be fun, and they both like candy. My wife is also a big fan of candy and sugar in general. Unless it's like the kind where you like are throwing a move on her. You know what I mean? Like if you're the male and you're like, hey, give me some sugar. She doesn't like to share that sugar, but she likes to eat it. And so Halloween's a big deal. And so the plan was this. I came over here to the taco shop yesterday and checked on James, which was a whole nother deal. We got this other Airstream that's sitting here. If you don't know, at the taco shop, there's one Airstream that's an arcade, and then there's a clone of it. We cloned it with my cloning machine, and I set it next to this Airstream. And for my plan, the goal, the purpose of that purchase was to renovate it and hook it up and then make it be like an Airbnb, an Airstream B&B, and maybe even have another one. And then people that are traveling down Route 66 in between Oklahoma City and Tulsa would have a place to stay that's unique and cool and have a cool story, and that's what it's all about. It is a great idea, and it could work, and, hopefully somebody does it. But I ain't got no money, and I got a 40-year-old man named James, Thick James, who's thick and needs to eat and needs something to do. And I can't have him sell tacos because he doesn't want to do that. So I've spent the past... So here's what happened. I was like, well, I want to... My plan shifted to I'm going to renovate the Airstream for James to live in. I started thinking on that and talking to him about it. And the more I talked to him, the more I thought about it. And then got to the point where I was like, you know what? Maybe, James, why don't you just go fix it. Let me see what you come up with. 'Cause I don't have any money anyways. I got to make it, duct tape it together with hope and faith and glue. So it's like, how bad could it be? And then I show up after last weekend's project and it was 30 degrees or maybe even colder, over the weekend into Monday or whatever. And it's an awful day out, and I come here, and James has got his dog. He's moved out. It took him one day, moved out of his bedroom and into this Airstream that's not even ever been plugged in. Like, I don't know what works, what doesn't. And not to say that things won't or could, or I was just kind of thinking he'd start the process, meaning, get the stuff out of the way. But that's not how my brother works. Thick James just kicked the door open, threw all his crap on it, and froze to death one night here. So I had to come here, get all his crap picked up again, take him all the way back to my house, get his room again. So the next day I could actually prepare it, hopefully correctly, in a way that's livable. You know what I mean? So that's what we spent the week doing. I got him going, and I can't say it's... Actually, he's a couple appliances away from you're envious of it. You know what I mean? You ever know those guys? And every man knows this, or not. I guess it can be. I don't have to be sexist about it. Yeah, I don't have to be sexist about it. Hello? Come in. I was just gonna say this. I told him that you'd be interrupting me, but every man and I guess woman could have this fantasy of, you go to somebody's house and say they live in a 77 Airstream, okay? And you go in, and at first you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody lives like this. But then after a couple minutes, if it's actually laid out pretty nice, and then you're like, so you just live here and don't have a mortgage and no responsibility and nobody really cares that you exist here? And it's that part, I think, that there's a definite draw. I mean, people obviously been drawn to that style of life for a long time. There's been movies about it. That one dude it's a movie and a book called Into the Wild. All he did was he'd float down streams and crap and eat berries and have diarrhea until he died in an Alaskan van because he couldn't, no responsibility. So you got to be careful. There's a ledge there, and I'm trying to keep my brother somewhere between Into the Wild and... Do you need a pin? Yeah, I don't know if I have a pin up here. It would be back there if I had one. So I don't think I have one, babe. Anyways, that's what we spent the week doing. And so the plan was, I'll come over here, make sure my brother's not frozen to death yesterday morning. And then I was going to go pick up Damien to take him trick-or-treating. Because trick-or-treating, due to drug and violence, you know what I mean, or drug-induced violence and alcoholism, trick-or-treating has, to me, that it's broke down in three very different ways depending on where you live. And fortunately, I've been able to experience all these different varieties of the holiday. One is a traditional trick-or-treating way, which is you and your buddies walk around a safe neighborhood or safe small town and knock on people's doors, strangers' doors. You say trick or treat. They give you candy or Bibles or a mixture of the two. And that's trick or treating number one. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, she's here. She walked in. So, Thick James is here. Everybody, he's back there. He's not frozen anymore. Got the trailer going. They probably see you. Yeah, you just gotta wave. I don't like looking at myself, so I block it. So, anyways, I was just talking about three styles of trick or treating because we were saying we picked Damien up yesterday and it was an adventure, and I'm just getting started on this story. First is the way James and I grew up. Your buddies come over, you all go out together, and then you come back and you dump your pillowcases out and you kind of trade the candies you like. And then you got the nerdy kid that wants to fit in, and you kind of be like, "No, dude, you like Whoppers. Don't you like Whoppers?" And you take all his good stuff and you give him like your crappy stuff, and that's how it goes. And then he catches on, he gets mad, steals your stuff. It's a fun game. The second way is a way that James is too old for, but he got to experience yesterday. It's called Trunk or Treat. So what happens now is because communities are so drug-addled and unsafe, children aren't allowed to walk around in them anymore for fear of abduction and murder and other things. So what we've done is we've put the responsibility of a safe holiday on the backs of the business owners in a town, and then make them, instead of have, customers or anything, they just, as these people walk by that aren't patrons, they just give them free candy to make everybody feel safe and happy. And it's actually really fun, so everybody, we went to the funeral home and they hid all the dead bodies and they gave us hot dogs. I mean, and hamburgers made out of old dead body meat. It was good. And so that was the Baptist church. That's how Baptists do it. And we walked over by Subway and they're handing out bubble gum. And we walked over by Napa Auto Parts and they're handing out Whoppers and stuff. And so it was a long little trek of safety, fun safety, but it was different. It's a totally different feel. But that's what most of them is this trunk or treat situation. And we had Damien with us. Damien's from Davenport, and Damien's used to trick-or-treating like me and James. Door to door, knock on people's door. Good thing about Damien is he'll trick-or-treat at all times. He'll trick-or-treat. It doesn't have to be Halloween for him to do it. So, sorry. Got to sign this real quick and just go ahead and put John Hancock. Thank you. I'll see you over there. I got to leave here. We're going to gymnastics in 30 minutes. So that was the second way, was this trunk or treating, okay? We had Damien. Damien dressed like a fox. We've been waiting, but he also had a sword and was Robin Hood. And so, I mean, he had good claws and stuff. I don't know. I'd say out of all the costumes he could have chosen from, not my favorite. But for whatever reason, he likes the fox the best, and so
his paint can is best.
Yeah, I like his paint can the best, his spacesuit. So, anyways, we walked around town, but that's the second way you can trick or treat. Now, that's a pretty good way. It's safe. Everybody gets plenty of candy, and it's actually pretty quick. You know what I mean? You go down and back, and then you're done. Everybody's exhausted. The third way is what happens in communities that like our dad lives in, cul-de-sac communities. What happens in these is I call them side-by-side lifestyles, where people will spend more money on a side-by-side or as much money on one as they do a vehicle. And because they spent so much money on it with accessories and just the cost of it, you have to show it off anytime you can. I mean, what's the point of having it if you don't light it up and drive it around a neighborhood throwing candies at people, right? So what happens in the third style Halloween, this is new Halloween, is all these people get their robotic side-by-sides, their open-wheeled death machines, the Mad Max style vehicles, and they zip around cul-de-sacs that are filled with solo stoves, the little heaters where people are roasting marshmallows and handing out ciders. And you go to each cul-de-sac and everything's set up like a haunted house or and everybody's in on it. The whole community's in on it. The whole cul-de-sac is in on it. And it's really great, but it makes you feel like you really are under a dome. You know what I mean? Like, you guys do understand that the only place that this exists is here in this cul-de-sac, right? Where everybody acts like it's a damn Hollister commercial. You know, where we're all sitting there eating freaking s'mores with our fingers sticking out of our fingerless isoturners. You know, what are we doing here? Like, nobody notices though. They just throw another Bud Light Lime at each other and smash a Clamato.
I don't know if I remember that. Adults.
Well, you're not, but you didn't do that because we never moved. James and I transitioned. We were the city, like the punk city kids that had like the mid-level house in a town in the middle, just guys in the middle that hung out with the dredges of the town. Whoever was not monitored, that's who we found in the streets, and we took them in under our wing. We took them into the gutters at Clearwater, and that was our life, right? And or we were working, so that was it. And then you get over. So we never had the part where we don't have to work tonight, and we live in a cul-de-sac where everybody's having fun. And we would drive our dirt bikes over to that nice area where there was only 3 houses back then, and terrorize it. I mean, so we would terrorize them for their affluence, probably. I mean, we spent most of our time hating them for their money.
Throwing toilet paper.
And throwing toilet paper at them. So we never experienced and we never realized that it was not any more money. It was exactly the same amount of money. It's just a nicer house or like a nicer neighborhood where people actually cared about their crap. We were used to the Dedricks taking dumps in each other's garages. That's what's happening on our street. We live on 2nd Street, number 2. I mean, that's what's happening here. We got neighbors pooping in each other's garages, and we look over at the cul-de-sac neighborhood, and we're just like, what the heck? That's nice. We want that. It looks new. But now that you go there, you're like, oh, it's nice, but it's not real. You know, I know these people. They've just stayed here. They're the robots of Clearwater. It's just the same. It's the same 3 people drinking Bud Light Lime, and so it's fun to wander around and be part of their computer program where they say, "Hey, how are you doing? What is going on?" They don't remember anything. Yeah, give you a hot dog, and it's just 3 separate Halloweens is what that is. And this year I got to experience trunk or treat with Damien and my children and another buddy, Adrian, who's been around a lot. So it was fine. I mean, it was exactly kind of what I expected it to be. My kids are pretty good, and
I ain't had fun.
Rowan dressed up as our dog, Augie, and Jonah dressed up as Iron Man. Adrian dressed up as the Poltergeist or something like that. A demon mask, pretty good one. And James, I wrapped James's face in toilet paper, and he wandered around like that big zombie from Hotel Transylvania and eating hot dogs. And Damien was a fox. And then I had a witch's hat on for a while, but the wind was taking it, so I just kind of carried it around and carried Damien's fox head. And as we trundled around Prague, and that's it, you know. So that was Halloween.
I liked it.
It was fun. It was good.
As an adult, it's good.
Well, Halloween's a great place to meet kids. I always.
Yeah, I love kids, huh?
James doesn't like kids usually, so this has been an experience of me forcing our children on him to make him love again. So we'll see if it works, if it pays any dividends. So that was it. The only other thing that's interesting that I was going to talk to you a little bit about is this situation I got going on over here that's on the Simpsons machine, buddy. I don't know if you noticed that backpack. Why don't you go over here and grab that for me, and we'll pull it over here. I'll show you what it's all about. There's not a spider in there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show you this stupid thing.
You got one?
Well, here's the thing. So last week I told you guys I went on a long run. But I didn't tell y'all that when I said I went on a long run, I ran like my normal 6 miles. I try to do that every day. And I don't run fast, and who cares? And I'm a psycho. So I do that. And then the other day when I ran last Wednesday, I was like,
God.
I did my 6, and then I was going to go with James to the Social Security office. He already left. So I said, screw it. And I just took off running. Again, I didn't take any water. I didn't eat anything. All the things that you're supposed to do to prepare, other than being stupid and somewhat fearless, I didn't prepare for any of them. I didn't even bring a phone. So took off running and made it. So I looked back at my stuff, and I'd ran to this town that was like 7 or 8 miles away after I'd already ran the 6 miles. And I went to Dollar General and bought a couple Gatorades and drank them and puked them up all over. And then ran 5 miles or 8 miles back. And I got back and that's when I said I died. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't have nothing left. Didn't know fluids and puked them all up and couldn't move and cramped up. So I stuck there for a while. And so because of that, most people, I got to get through. I just realized I needed to prepare a little more for longer runs. Because, okay, here's the deal. Maybe you guys aren't following along and I got to refresh your memory. What have I talked about for belt buckles? I've been talking about belt buckles. People I bought a belt buckle 7 years ago at an estate sale with a customized belt that said Tom Dixon. He was a rodeo man, a rodeo clown man. Okay, he rode bucking broncos and he was a rodeo clown man. His name was Tom Dixon. Lived in Wichita, Kansas at one time. Passed away. I went to his estate sale. Never met the fella. Bought his belt. Had a buckle. And I thought to myself, I'm not a cowboy. I'm not gonna be. I've went to a working ranch and watched a guy take nuts off cows and load up pigs and impregnate cows. And I've been around it. I got enough family and friends that I could do it if I wanted to. I don't want to be no damn horse riding cowboy right now. That's not in the cards for me. I never have been a cowboy on that level. I'm not a damn Yellowstone fan. I'm not a Dutton. This ain't Dutton Farms. Okay. So where's I going with that?
I don't know.
What was I talking about?
So about dying, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Water,
dying. My water. I was dying in my water and never
Tell
been a
them I was
cowboy.
about that too.
No, I didn't tell him that. Just 20 miles. I don't remember where I was going with the cowboy thing. Oh, people are gonna have to understand that I was gonna talk about my running. That I run this much.
Yeah.
I was going with that. I don't know. I shouldn't have went on that tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I liked it.
I got off track. The point is, I went on this. I realized that I had to prepare better. Oh, belt buckles. That's where I was going. Belt buckles. Jesus. Of course, that's where I was going. Okay. So, and the reason that I want to run this much. Now, at first it was to not be fat. Okay. I was fat. I didn't want to be fat no more. I started running. That was years ago, 6 years ago. Not to say that I stopped being fat 6 years ago. The process. And you only got so much time and you only got so much energy. And so I did what I could. And then eventually it got to the point where it become fun again, working out. And then it got to the point where you wanted to challenge yourself again. And then now we're to the point where I'm at now, where you had to find a reason. Otherwise people are like, why the hell are you doing it? You're not racing anybody. You're old. Nobody gives a shit. Why are you doing it? It seems like it'd make you miserable. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so you got to get a reason. Well, the reason I bought at that estate sale, I bought a Tom Dixon belt from a rodeo man, a clown man, and I'm not a cowboy. But the thing is, when you run an ultra marathon, James, you know what they give you?
What?
A belt buckle.
Really?
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
So I got to get the belt buckle, man. So I got to run the big time. So I ran 20 miles last week, and I come and did the show, and I told you I did, but I looked over at the data, and I ran really great for 3.5 hours, and then it took me 2 hours to run 2 miles. So that's how much I died. Anyways, the solution to that was, I was like, maybe I'll get one of them bags that people wear on their backs with water in it. I'm not a big fan of water, never have been. No, it's water. But the thing is, what it is you put like a bladder, like a a D bag, you fill it with water and shove it in this pack and strap it onto you, and then you can suck out of the straw while you're running, so you don't pass out from dehydration from sweating so much. And so I figured if I have this on, I can go run, and then every few miles, do what you love to do and shoot it in the back of my throat. So, water. Don't be gross. So, anyways, that's what I tried today. Now, I put it on over my sweatshirt, and what you end up looking like is somebody who is wearing a bomb with a wire and your hood up because it's cold out and your black gloves, and you look like somebody that's running around with a bomb on.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of cool, kind of weird. And then the second thing is I was like, well, let me try it. I took it off, put my sweater over it. Then you look like Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look kind of. Well, I realized that I'm an idiot at some point. I put it on outside and just ran, and who cares? And it was fine. But as I was running, I was thinking about it's kind of cool having a backpack because you can put stuff in it. Like I put my phone and some, like I even got a little piece of candy in the top here. Snickers, you want this? Sure. Yeah, you're gonna have a Snickers, man. That's what's cool about it, right?
Yeah.
Got little treats, little treasures in there. And then I was like, you know how like when I run around, I like to find crap and
yes, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of crap that I find in the ditches. Like I found this in the ditch. This nice, I don't think it's Pakistani, but it might be Jordanian or Yemen. This could be from the Yemen collection. I got this, Lulu Yemen, I think is what the brand is. And I got out of the ditch. It is, these you don't see. Like if you go to Kohl's, you ain't gonna see something like this. A windbreaker like this. The only time you're gonna see this is like in the back of a Toyota on a grainy film holding a gun. I mean, this is authentic. So this is sweet. It's militia grade or something. So anyways, you find stuff in the ditch, and I thought, if you're wearing a backpack, wouldn't it be a great thing? You could hang all kinds of crap from it. Feathers and, knives and buoy, all the crap that I find. And then I thought, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm the only person I know that is running around right now in 30-degree weather, fantasizing about hanging feathers and gemstones and knives and shit off my bag as I run around. And then I thought, though, but the reason I think that would be cool is because if I was driving and I looked over and seen a fella running with a bunch of feathers and shit hanging out, I mean, that's pretty cool. Look at that guy's, look at that idiot running. It's the first thing I'd think. What a dumbass. And the second thing I'd think is, cool bag, though. You know what I mean?
Is it a bomb?
And the other bag, I was dude, I looked this up. Because this we already had. I didn't buy it. So, and it probably is good that I drink water.
Gatorade's better.
Yeah, Gatorade's better, but probably good I drink water. But the other thing I was thinking about, because there's two things. I don't like wearing all the stupid crap that runners wear. I don't like wearing it. I'd rather wear my blue holy painty sweatpants and my painty hoodie that I got and this Yemen collection, you know what I mean, and look like me running around. Except for the problem is I look like somebody that ate bath salts when I do that. You know what I mean? Like I look like a psychopath running around the streets. And so the reason you have to put the running gear on sometimes is just to fit in. So people know that you're a runner. Because
what about me in workout in jeans?
That's what they don't. If I run in jeans, dude, I'll get hit by a policeman. Will hit me with a freaking rubber bullet and take me in. So I'm not gonna. You just gotta put Under Armour, Nike running, put big flashy lights all over myself. Anything to let people know I'm running. Don't freak out. And I think it's just so rare in this area.
Jonas says Oklahoma.
Maybe it's Oklahoma. So you get back to Kansas and other people are running. You don't like. you feel like they're chasing you. You know what I mean? Like, what, did I do something wrong?
Yeah, with guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eyes, travel cards.
So, anyways, I got to get the running, but you feel like an idiot. I mean, on all of it. So, but because of that, I looked a different direction on the hydration situation, because you got to remember how our homeboy Jesus used to drink his wine, dog. They didn't drink wine out of like a wine bottle, like maybe a rich person.
Jealous.
No, they drunk it out of like a cow's bladder. This big leather that looks like a.
Oh my God! You gotta
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Get one of them big teardrop shaped leather bags, and fill it up with water, and have it strapped around your back like a big canteen. Yeah, leather canteens, man.
Oh man,
that's what I'm talking about. That would be cool, because then you could freaking like every asshole can run in a neoprene lime green camelback, sucking on their little straw. But what kind of fool is running with a 3-foot cow's bladder that's burned like our logo? We'll burn a logo into the side of it. You can. Me and Tug looked them up. They're actually not that expensive. You would think sewing a cow's bladder would be more expensive. It's not. Like a couple $100 for a good one. Big. I'm talking 4-footer. I want a 4-foot cow bladder full of water. 60 pounds.
Strap it on your back.
Strap it on my back, dude. We'll run through the desert. I just think that I don't know. Maybe those people exist. They probably do, but they exist in like Aboriginal tribes. You know what I mean? Like there's a fool that's running around some Serengeti desert right now with a leather, and that's just normal. That's like Nike to them. You know what I mean? In fact, with them wearing Nike stuff would be out of the ordinary. Yeah. So ultimately, if you're running around like in your over 13 or something, people think you're a jackass. So it doesn't really matter. I guess my point is, if you're already going to think I'm a jackass asshole running around, I might as well be one and be carrying a literal camel's bladder with me. So that's one of the thoughts that I had that I think could be funny addition. You'd,
awesome.
Would you
I would agree with you.
sponsor it? Like, if you ever had
I'd sponsor you with your
with my bladder?
Your bladder.
Yeah. That's all I need is sponsorship, really. I don't know. There's ways you'd think that there'd be. Remember when I think it was Oscar De La Hoya, one of them boxers. Like, there was a big fight one time when we were younger where somebody wore trunks that had an advertisement on them, like a beer advertisement on the butt cheeks or something.
Yeah.
And people were like freaking out about it, that it commercialized the fight. And then, I mean, that was 30 years ago. And now you cut to Conor McGregor's got his Bud Light tattooed on his navel. You know what I mean? Didn't stop. So people just become a brand or a sponsorship for a brand, like Balance of Nature gummies. You know what I mean? Like, clearly those old people in Balance of Nature gummies, they're a brand. You know, when their family sees them, imagine your grandma was in a Balance of Nature gummy commercial. Every time you saw her, you would ask her about it. If Grandma Betty was in that commercial where she's cold and she says her joints hurt, but then she started taking this green bottle of jellies, and all of a sudden she can run a marathon, you'd be going over there saying, geez, look, those things are great, if they actually worked. And you'd always call her, oh, that's old Balance of Nature grandma. That's grandma Betty Balance of Nature. So I think that you just become these brands. And I would think that if there was an idiot that was willing to run in public wherever every day like I do, somebody would put a sign on my back or something, pay me. They pay those homeless people to flip signs to tell you to go buy a mattress. You know what I mean? There's a mattress sale. Heather and I bought a Serta because of one of them fellas. Ex-golfers out there flipping that sign. Pulled in there, got a great deal on a Cool Comfort. But
Yeah.
They threw the pillows in, so you knew it was a good deal. And it's zero financing.
Oh,
So, whew,
credit?
on credit, yeah, on credit, zero down,
Cash.
zero down, free delivery. You know, they'll take your old bed for free. No, I'm just what I'm saying though. They pay those guys. The mattress guy goes out there, says, "Hey, homeless bum, you spin this sign for $100. This guy's making $100 to spin this sign. You can't strap a sandwich board to me and let me run around town. Give me $100.
Yeah.
Jeez, I gotta do it myself. I gotta buy a cow's bladder and run around with it. What does that get me? Nothing.
Hydration.
It gives me hydration. That's right. So
That would be like cooler than the Camelback.
yeah, I guess so.
That one canteen we used to have, got at a garage sale.
That silver one?
It's like it was leather.
No, I remember we had one that had a silver ridge on the outside and carpet almost.
Oh, that's the can.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the canteen.
Yeah, that canteen.
So we had one of those old. We had a bladder too.
We did?
Yeah, a long time.
Oh, I do remember that. It had like a real thin strap on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carry that around.
We were like,
So did Danny.
I don't think that was a canteen. I think that was a feminine cleaning product. I think that we told each other it was a canteen, but I'm 99% sure that they're sold now as feminine hygiene products, and we were just slapping each other in the face with it. Well, yeah, that was good times. We're idiots.
They were grandma would go down to girls' beds, you and I, Katie.
We'd go under grandma's bed?
Yeah, under roof and the douche.
No, I don't remember. I vaguely remember that. So, anyways, I got to go over to gymnastics. That's Halloween update. We had a good time with Damien. I'll see what I can do about the Camelback. If I can get a leather one. If you guys know anybody that works in leather, actually, that'd be a good contact. If any of you out there are leather workers, possibly taking in raw cow hide and processing it, tanning it, oiling it, however that works, stretching it, and then creating. I was watching a fella on how it's make leather carps not too long ago, stuffed leather fishes. Well, what I'm saying, he could be watching now, and if that's you, sir, send me an email or something, and I'd like to talk to you about some products, specifically running products, leather running products.
One for your mouth.
I need like a leather iPhone holder and a leather. Let's start getting back into leather. I don't
know if they make that one for my phone.
I think that it's been too long. I don't know what happened. I think we threw a bunch of blood on a bunch of actresses who were wearing fur coats, and all of a sudden we thought leather wasn't cool. Guys,
I actually got rid of my leather jacket.
Why? Leather is the coolest. You're wearing a cow. You're wearing an animal. You're the king of the world at that point.
I'll get some good leather pants and go down to the senior center.
You should wear some leather pants down at the senior center. That's how you get an STD, fella. You gotta be careful. That's how I'll tell people. James got his first STD at 42 years old down there at senior center. Yeah, down there got herpes.
They're seasoned.
But when they're not flaring up, you can be active.
Yeah, they're flaring up. They're flushing. They're blushing in there. Look at that guy walking in.
How old do you think you should? How old is a senior to you? 55. 55.
So I was going to retire then, but I'm going to go sooner now.
Oh, good.
Oh shit.
I'm glad. Yeah. All right. That's it. We'll get out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Follow along at home as the changes happen. As you know, I can't sit still for very long. So we'll see where it goes. If you know anybody that works in leather or signage and wants to pay me to go run around, I could use I think I'll take your money now if you want to give it to me. If anybody owes me money, send it my way.
I mean, Andrew owes me money too.
Yeah.
Send it my way.
So if you're thinking to yourself, do I owe him money? I think I might owe him money. You probably do, and send it my way. So that's it. Is that it for?
Jappy owed $40 still for mowing the yard.
Yeah, there's a gentleman out there. You know who you are, Corey Gray. You owe James $40 for his yard. So for your yard. All right, we're getting out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Don't let your meatloaf have an okay day. Bye.